Microsoft set to reboot the Xbox Tuesday. Welcome to Digits. I'm Simon Constable. How can they make games like that one, like Tomb Raider, more exciting in the tablet age? Ian Sherr joins us now from Seattle, where he's awaiting their unveiling of the new box. Thanks for being there, Ian.
My pleasure.
So, the Xbox has been around for a while in many forms. What can we expect tomorrow? How are they going to keep it sexy?
Well, that's actually really the big question. It's been 8 years since the last Xbox. We now have had the Nintendo Wii U, which was their next generation console. It came out late last year in November, and it did not do well at all. They had to slash their estimates. Sony's come out with their PlayStation 4, which is their newest one. They announced that in February. It's coming out later this year. So there's a lot that's kind of coming up against Microsoft with this new Xbox. And what they're going to be doing a lot of the stuff that we expect. It's going to be faster, sexier, bigger. But the real questions are the kind of new innovative things they can do. If you remember, they came out with the Kinect motion sensor, where you get to flail your hands around and speak at it, and you actually get to play the game that way. And that got a lot of buzz. But now the real question is, how do they make it a real game changer? And how do they help that, what other technologies do they put in there that make it really different?
And in fact, the industry itself, despite what some people in the business say, isn't doing that great. Packaged grain products are down 25% April to April, and console hardware in the US,
Correct.
And console hardware sales down 42%. And it's not just the console, right? So you buy the console, and that looks, great, and you love it. Then you got to go buy the games, and a lot of the games can be quite pricey, $60. And although the economy might be better than it was a few years ago, it is still weak, right? And these games are a luxury.
Right, there's that, and but the other part of it, it's fair to mention that we are at the trough of what's considered the console cycle. So at the end of when these things get stale and we're kind of used to all these games, it gets to a point where people aren't buying that many more games because hey, they're waiting for the new thing. So the real question is, what's the uptick going to look like? There's going to be some sort of uptick. Nintendo sold 3 million Wii U's between November and December of last year. So the question is, can Microsoft keep its momentum up? Can Sony regain momentum? And can the game industry become as big as it was? We're talking about back in 2007, the growth rates were spectacular. And right now, if you take PricewaterhouseCoopers, for example, they're not expecting much of a bump at all. And so the real question is, how much can this game industry grow? We know that it's going to grow some, but this new technology is going to have to grab more than the hardcore gamers, which of course are going to buy it to play the latest Call of Duty. But who else is going to get it?
You need more than the teenage boys in the basement, don't you?
Exactly.
So the console sales, you got the Wii at 5 million in 2012, PS3, PlayStation 3 at 8.5 million, Xbox 360 at 3.12 million. And you're right, it's the growth thing and getting the 13.2 there for the Xbox. Getting people to upgrade and continue to buy. Is playing games online the way to go? It's sort of the group gaming where you're playing not just against your brothers and sisters and your local friends, but people half a world away.
Well, Microsoft's been doing a lot of things, as has Sony. They're trying to bolster their social networks that they've been building. Xbox calls it Live. Sony calls it the PlayStation Network. Nintendo added TV controls to their game system, and there's been prototypes of Microsoft's as well doing that. So there's a lot of things that they're trying to do to make it work and to get those things. I mean, there's a lot of inspiration from tablets and smartphones. Again, if you look at Nintendo with the Wii U, they have a touchscreen controller. It's literally a controller melded with a touchscreen. If you look at Sony, the PlayStation 4, their new controller has a touchpad on it. So there's a lot of inspiration coming from what's really upending the market, these smartphones and tablets. Now, again, it's unclear what Microsoft's going to do. Last year, they came out with a thing called Smart Glass, which basically allowed your smartphone or tablet to interact with the Xbox, but it didn't really allow you to play games. So now it's kind of what's going to be next.
And we await with bated breath, and you're going to break that news for us. Thank you very much, Ian Sherr. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
And you can read more on this story on WSJ.com. I'm Simon Constable, and that was Digits.